Humanity's final stand in BattleNet. Seon Jihan said to Jin Yua, "Did you do this?" Yoon Se-ah, lying on the ground trying to get up, muttered to herself, "Uncle?" Suddenly, a boy attempted to stab Seon Jihan in the back, but Seon easily evaded the strike, and the boy gasped in shock. "Cook!" Without warning, Seon Jihan struck him in the face. The boy screamed in pain, "Cook!" as he dropped to the ground. Seon Jihan picked him up, while Jin Yua shouted, "Stop!" Jin Yua grabbed Yoon Se-ah and pressed a knife to her neck. "Don't move, Seon Jihan. If you take even a step, I will tear this woman to pieces," she threatened. Seon Jihan set the weak boy down. Jin Yua trembled in fear, whispering to herself, "I will get out of here no matter what after I've killed Yoon Se-ah." Flashback, 15 years ago, at the mansion of the president of the Hong Kong Red Tiger Association. A boy screamed, "Kaya! Kaya! It hurts! Mom, help!" A maid pleaded with Jin Yua, "Miss, please stop." But Jin Yua continued to beat the boy. Her father, observing from a distance, called out, "Yua!" Jin Yua stammered, "Dad?" Her father asked, "What is all this ruckus?" Jin Yua explained, Well, I wanted the plushie, but he wouldn't give it to me, so." The maid apologized. "I'm sorry, sir. It's a plushie he cherishes a lot." Her father smiled and said, "Good. If there's something you want, then you should take it. That's my daughter." Jin Yua, in shock, said, "Ah." She smiled and replied, "Okay, Dad." The youngest daughter of the Jin family held control over the criminal underworld of Hong Kong. Since birth, she had lived a life of luxury and power. Years later, Jin Yua was watching a 20-inch television and said, "BattleNet?" Her guard responded, "That's right. All nations in the world will soon begin raising players." Jin Yua asked, "Did you say that S is the highest rank? Then I'll be S rank, right?" But a few days later, Jin Yua muttered, "F rank?" She looked at the system and read, "Possessed gift late bloomer gift rank. F." At school, one of her friends whispered to another, "Whoa, her gift is S rank." Her other friend replied, "Really? What is it? I'm so envious. Isn't that the first S rank in our school? Man, you're on a whole different level now." A few days later, the news reported, the girl with the S rank gift was found dead by the river. She had recently received an F rank gift, so everyone is very saddened. Jin Yua gritted her teeth and muttered, "That's why you should have stayed quiet, you fool." The creation of BattleNet shook her world. To her, the information Seon Jihan revealed during a live stream was crucial. She said to herself, "You mean, late bloomer is a growth-type gift. That means it's the best there, eyes. Someday, I'll be the strongest in the world." It became her only hope to recover her shattered pride. Seon Jihan stared at Jin Yua and Yoon Se-ah from a distance. Jin Yua thought to herself, "Now that I have her hostage, I have the upper hand. It won't even take 5 seconds to kill a woman like her." Suddenly, Seon Jihan made a slight move. Jin Yua hissed, "You, monster! I told you not to move! Do you want to see her die? If you come any closer." But she froze as Seon Jihan's aura became intense and deadly. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she felt him grow stronger. Jin Yua suddenly dropped to the ground, dropping her knife. I don't have strength in my legs," she murmured. Seon Jihan extended his arm. Yoon Se-ah looked at him, saying, "You uncle." "I'm all right. Let's calm down. We can just go home, can't we? There's no need to dirty your hands because of someone like her." Jin Yua was shocked and thought to herself, "Someone like me? What's that supposed to mean?" Furious, she pulled out her gun and pointed it at Seon Jihan. "How dare she?" she muttered to herself. Without hesitation, she began firing. Seon Jihan used his force to block the bullets. As Yoon Se-ah screamed, "Ka!" Jin Yua shouted, "There's no way I am the weak one. There's no way I would ever lose." She emptied her magazine, shouting, "It's always me that wins. Die, die, die," she screamed as Seon Jihan continued to block the bullets. "Die," she shouted again. Yoon Se-ah looked at the incoming bullets, and Seon Jihan observed one bullet passing through his force. He suddenly stepped forward and sliced the bullet in half, then looked directly at Jin Yua. Jin Yua was stunned and confused as she realized she was cut in half. Yoon Se-ah saw her final moments. Days later, Seon Jihan stared at his hand in the kitchen, recalling the events of the previous day. He snapped back to reality and muttered to himself, "I had no choice. Let's stop thinking about it." After that day, Jin Yua and her group disappeared. The incident was not made public. It had taken place in an abandoned building, and Jin Yua and her gang didn't want to be on social media. Even if her supporters were enraged, they would hesitate to act against Seon Jihan if they saw what had happened at the scene. But after that day, Seon Jihan and Yoon Se-ah's lives would never be the same again. Seon Jihan said to Yoon Se-ah, "What are you thinking about?" Yoon Se-ah replied, "Nothing." Seon Jihan thought to himself, "I knew it. I'm sure it was shocking for her. This kind of thing will happen every day once the tutorial is over. Will she be able to handle it?" Suddenly, someone outside pressed the doorbell twice. Yoon Se-ah asked, "Who could it be?" The door opened and Sophia entered, cheerfully saying, "Hi, Se-ah. Long time no see." Yoon Se-ah, confused, asked, "Sophia?" Sophia laughed. "Oh, why did you lose so much weight?" "Se-ah, are you on a diet?" Yoon Se-ah, sweating, responded, "Why are you here?" Seon Jihan answered, "I called her to come over. You haven't gone out in a while. You two should go out and get some fresh air." Yoon Se-ah looked at Seon Jihan, confused. Sophia chimed in, "Jihan, you should come with us too." Seon Jihan declined, saying, "I'm fine." Sophia, playfully pouting, said, "Aw, don't be like that. I planned the entire date. I can guarantee it'll be F." She stopped herself. Seon Jihan whispered to Sophia, "Se-ah has been looking depressed lately. I was hoping you could cheer her up for me. You're the only person I can ask." Sophia's thoughts echoed Seon Jihan's words. Feeling a sense of responsibility, she replied, "Okay." Yoon Se-ah muttered, "Uncle, I don't really want to go out." Suddenly, Sophia grabbed Yoon Se-ah's shoulder and pulled her away, saying, "Se-ah, let's go." Ariel, watching from a distance, commented, "She's pretty chaotic." Seon Jihan responded, "She didn't use to be this bad." At the commercial area, Sophia pointed forward, pulling Yoon Se-ah along. They started eating junk food. Sophia tried her hand at a UFO crane game, winning a Shiba Inu doll. "Yippee!" she exclaimed. "I've always wanted to do something like this." Yoon Se-ah asked, "Don't you have claw machines in the United States?" Sophia replied, "Of course, but I didn't have anyone to do them with." Sophia then asked, "What should we do next? Are you good at basketball? I'll let you have a 5-point handicap. Hee. Yoon Se-ah replied, "Yeah, right, I'm pretty good at basketball." But then she froze. A boy was playing a shooting game, cursing, "Ah, damn, I can't hit anything." His friend laughed, "Our aim is terrible. This is the machine's problem." Another friend teased, "Skill issue." Yoon Se-ah watched a zombie being shot at and suddenly remembered Jin Yua being cut in half. Yoon Se-ah froze again, feeling nauseous. "Ugh," she murmured. Sophia, looking confused, asked, "Se-ah?" Yoon Se-ah ran away, and Sophia called after her, "Se-ah!" Outside, in front of the RV phone accessories and repair shop, Sophia gently asked, "Se-ah, are you all right?" Yoon Se-ah responded, "It's fine, I just wasn't feeling too good." Sophia persisted, "Really? Are you sure something isn't wrong?" Yoon Se-ah reassured her, "Nothing's wrong." Sophia replied, "But it looks like something is wrong. Tell me. We're here to cheer you up." Yoon Se-ah hesitated before speaking. "Sophia, how? How would you feel if someone important to you did something b-bad?" Sophia was confused, huh? Yoon Se-ah continued, "Well, if someone I depend on and love committed murder. Of course, it was something he had to do to protect me, and he's still important to me. But I feel so bad because I feel like he became a bad person because of me. I'm not sure how I should talk to him." Sophia stared at her thoughtfully and then said, "Someone who isn't afraid to get blood on his hands for my sake. Something like that? That's so romantic." Yoon Se-ah thought to herself, she's not technically wrong, but... Sophia continued, "But you two love each other, right? If I were in your position," a few moments later. Yoon Se-ah returned home. Seon Jihan asked, "Did you have fun?" Yoon Se-ah replied, "Ah, yeah." Seon Jihan motioned to the couch. "Have a seat. Let's talk." Yoon Se-ah froze, sitting down slowly. "About what?" Seon Jihan asked. "Were you waiting for me to come back? I feel like it's rare for you to look so serious." He then asked, "Se-ah, what do you think about giving up on being a player?" Yoon Se-ah stared at him, confused and shocked. "What?" Seon Jihan said, "Se-ah, what do you think about giving up on being a player?" Yoon Se-ah was shocked and silent. She then said, "What?" Seon Jihan said, "You probably didn't know, but once the tutorial is over, the BattleNet game will become reality. If you die in the game, you'll have to use GP to revive yourself. If you don't have enough GP, you'll stay dead. That means the person you kill in the game might actually die in real life." Yoon Se-ah sweated in fear. She stammered, "How do you know that?" Seon Jihan said, "I heard it from Ariel." And he thought to himself, "I can't tell her the real answer to that." Seon Jihan said, "Isn't that right, Ariel?" Ariel was silent. Ariel then said, "He's not wrong. Once the Space League opens, the game will become unimaginably cruel. If you want to give up, now is the best time to do it." Yoon Se-ah looked down in silence. Seon Jahan observed her and said, "Say ah, there's no need to push yourself." Yoon Se-ah replied, "I won't. If such a horrible reality is awaiting us, that's even more reason not to give up." Seon Jihan was stunned. He said, "What?" Yoon Se-ah said, "It's just like you said. What I went through that day keeps coming back to me like a nightmare. If the game becomes reality after the tutorial is over, there will be worse nightmares." She trembled in fear. Yoon Se-ah continued, "But that is also why." She remembered what Sophia had said. "If I were in that position, I think I would try to help that person so that something like that doesn't happen again. I don't want someone dear to me to carry all of that burden alone." Yoon Se-ah said, "I don't want you to be alone in a world like that. I'll protect you too." Seon Jihan was shocked. He thought to himself, "You're such a strong person." Yoon Se-ah said, "So don't worry. I've been a bit down lately, but I just needed time to process things." Ariel chimed in, "A bit down? This dude flipped the table over multiple times because you wouldn't eat the food he made. He's out of his mind." Yoon Se-ah said, Are you serious?" Seon Jahan looked at the system and said, "All right, well, if that's what you want, take this item just in case." Yoon Se-ah asked, "What's this?" The system replied, "Cloak of the Void, S rank." Seon Jihan said, "It's a bit suspicious, but it should help keep you safe. Use it if something like last time happens again." Yoon Se-ah said, Would I need something like this?" Seon Jihan replied, "If you don't want to take it, you have to take me with you wherever you go outside." Yoon Se-ah laughed. "Kiki, you'd be like a stalker. Did you follow me around today too, Kiki?" "You didn't, did you?" Seon Jihan was silent. Yoon Se-ah asked, "Are you serious?" Seon Jihan said, "Se-ah, I was just making sure that you were having fun." Yoon Se-ah said, "You should have just come with us if you were gonna follow us around like that." Seon Jihan replied, "Why would I hang out with some kids?" The next day at the gold unlocking defense map, Seoul Bridge, a player said, "The bridge map." His friend replied, "Whoa, this is my first time on this map." Her friend asked, "Do you want some tips?" Suddenly, someone shouted, "You bastards!" as he stomped the ground. He said, "How dare you chat amongst yourselves when there is a battle ahead of you?" It was the Cloud Empire's gatekeeper, the ally NPC Bijang. He shouted, "Aren't you ashamed to call yourselves soldiers of the Cloud Empire?" A boy muttered, "Ugh, he's so loud." His girl asked, "Can't we adjust the volume on this NPC?" Bijang listened to the marching from afar. He looked behind and suddenly, skeletons charged at him. They shouted, "Kurk, Kuak!" Bijang shouted, "Everyone, prepare for battle, you evil beings." His spear crackled with electricity as he attacked the incoming skeletons. He commanded, "Get back!" The players began to fight the skeletons, and one by one, the skeletons fell. Bijang swung his spear and decapitated one of them. A few moments later, Bijang remained standing, breathing heavily. Suddenly, a voice called out, "Bijang!" He looked into the distance and said, "Hojo." It was Hojo, the Phoenix Squad leader of the Wind Empire, an enemy NPC. Hojo said, "Bijang, it's not too late. Come to the Wind Empire's side like me." Bijang growled, "You, how insolent. The Cloud Empire will not give in. The soldiers and I will fend you all off until the very end." Hojo laughed. "Soldiers? Those little minions?" As the fallen players vanished, a system notification appeared. More than 50% of the players have died. Bijang said, "That leaves me no choice. Hojo, this shall be our grave." He charged, making a huge blast at the bridge. Hojo was shocked. "What? Kuwa!" The skeletons fell in waves. Another system notification appeared. "The game is over." The comments flooded in. "No cuts from Dia Goldplat. Ha, the game ended again in just the first phase." "Yoplat, are you sure that golds can get to phase 2 in this map?" "Best Gold Leaguer 1979, LOL. It'd be praiseworthy if golds got to even the ending of phase 1. Ceasefan, you can't go on to the next phase if there are less than 50% survivors. You can't solo carry." A system notification said, "Matchmaking." Another notification said, "The game has begun." Bijang opened his eyes, the battle far from over. Suddenly, Hojo stomped his feet and shouted, "Bijang, it's not too late. Come to the Wind Empire's side like me." Bijang replied, "The Cloud Empire will not give in." The comments continued. "Lilial, I get it, guys. Can we just break the bridge and end the game, please?" "Awo 3, golds can't get to phase 2 here, LOL." Hojo scoffed, "Soldiers? Ha 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 ha. Those little minions." Suddenly, a golden electricity blasted behind Hojo's back. He was shocked and confused as he began to sweat. Seon Jihan's voice rang out, "Is your fat blinding you or something?" A system notification appeared. More than 50% of players have survived. Another system notification, the second phase is beginning. Seon Jihan and his team said, "Who are the minions?" A system notification popped up, hidden quest, prevent the death of NPC Bijang, and gain his acknowledgement. Flashback. Long ago, the Wind Empire and the Cloud Empire ruled over the Wind Continent. One day, the Wind Empire's emperor was resurrected from the dead, and he declared war on the Cloud Empire to steal the divine creatures that symbolize the power of their nation. During this war, Bijang, the Cloud Empire's commander and the emperor's sworn brother, fended off the Wind Empire's invasion 3 times with just 10 other soldiers. Present. Seon Jihan stabbed a skeleton and it cried out in pain. Kek! Seon Jihan thought to himself, this game mode, Soul Bridge, has players fighting alongside Bijang. The monsters are pretty high level since this game only permits gold rank and above. The rules aren't that different from other defense maps. But if more than half the players die, Bijang will cut off the bridge, forcing the game to end. I better be careful. Yoon Se-ah shouted. They just keep coming, Sophia. Buff, please. Sophia replied. I can't give any more. Seon Jihan thought to himself, seems to be struggling. Seon Jihan raised his polearm and said, then it's about time, and stabbed it into the ground. A phoenix appeared with a cry, Keek! A system notification appeared. The battlefield has received the phoenix's blessing. Yoon Se-ah and Sophia were shocked. Another system notification said, the stats of party members as well as all allies will be increased by 25%. Moments later, Hojo looked up at the sky as the phoenix soared. He gasped, is that the phoenix? It's the divine creature phoenix. He began to sweat in fear. Suddenly, arrows rained down upon the skeletons. An archer called out to Seon Jihan, Whoa, Mr. Jihan! This buff is amazing, a lady mage exclaimed. Wah! Who dares call Seon Jihan a fake supporter now? The comments flooded in. Ramen noodle slurp. They've still got this much in them despite hitting phase 2 as golds? Oh my god kimchi. Lesgu. God Jihan. Yoon Se-ah looked at her hand, contemplating, and then said, Seon Jihan asked, how's the buff, Se-ah? Yoon Se-ah replied, it's nice, but I think I'm going to have to quit your party. I feel like my level's just getting boosted without increasing my knowledge. The players fought, shouting, Wah! Seon Jihan frowned. No! You can just learn that kind of thing later on. Yoon Se-ah shook her head. Nope, you know what my gift upgrade conditions are this time, right? Win the top 100 promotion game. Either that or maintain a 60% win rate. A system notification appeared. Late bloomer gift rank, D upgrade conditions. Either win the top 100 promotion game or maintain a 60% win rate for 500 games. Yoon Se-ah continued. I need to win the top 100 promotion game in order to come stronger as fast as I can, but you can't join me for that either. I want to be helpful to you too. Seon Jihan thought for a moment. If you say so, what a shame. I wanted to be in a party with you two a few more times. Sophia, shocked, suddenly grabbed Yoon Se-ah's shoulder. Say, let's just stay in the party. I'll buff just you, say, Yoon Se-ah blinked in confusion. Eh? Bijang, looking up at the sky, said, Goodness, is Tat not a phoenix? He was amazed by the sight. Turning to Seon Jihan, he asked, such powers can only be possessed by the Imperial Guard captain. Is that where you're from? Seon Jihan sweated in confusion, thinking to himself, What? What is he talking? Seon Jihan responded, I just happened to come across this. A system notification appeared. Bijang is curious about you. Seon Jihan recalled another system notification. Hidden quest. Earn the NPC Bijang's acknowledgement and prevent his death. An idea sparked in Seon Jihan's mind, a chance to be acknowledged. Kneeling down, he said, Yes, General. I, a subordinate of the Imperial Guard, greet General Bijang. Yoon Se-ah was confused. Uncle, what are you doing? Bijang, astonished, said, You really are from the Imperial Guard. Seon Jihan, standing tall, said, I'll take care of the enemy. Please rest. Bijang cleared his throat. Ahem. I do appreciate it, but it'll be hard to fight Hojo even with the divine creature's powers. Fight alongside my soldiers behind me. Seon Jihan responded, General, did you not swear brotherhood with His Imperial Majesty? I was ordered to protect you, basically as an extension of the Emperor. Please permit me to do everything I can to protect you, even if I must give up my life. Bijang, struck with emotion, covered his eyes. Kuhuk. This reminds me of the day His Imperial Majesty and I swore brotherhood underneath the peach blossom tree. Yoon Se-ah, still shocked, watched. Bijong finally said, "All right. I cannot refuse you then. Here, take this. I will share with you the powers of my cloud spear, lightning cloud, so go take down Hojo." As he tapped the phoenix pole, a surge of power transferred to Seon Ji-han's pole. A system notification appeared. The cloud spear's lightning cloud is reacting with the lightning staff. The power of lightning has been amplified. The lightning cloud recognizes the player as its owner. Lightning stat has been increased by 2. Seon Ji-han thought to himself, "Oh, this isn't something I was expecting to get." Hojo suddenly called out, "Are you done with your little soap opera? I didn't expect to meet someone who controls a phoenix here." "Charge! Take the phoenix," Seon Ji-han quickly commanded. Get to high ground." Yoon Se-ah responded, "Okay." Seon Ji-han continued, "Sophia, please take care of the allies in the back lines." Sophia asked, "What about you?" Seon Ji-han said, "I'm." He turned to face the incoming skeleton army. Seriously, going to behead the enemy. With a swift motion, he used his skill. 3 Calamity Martial Devotion Thousandfold Rampage. The skeletons screamed in pain as they were cut down. "Ku, in." Hojo cried, "And my soldiers." As lightning crackled toward Hojo, he quickly blocked it with his sword, shouting in pain. Kick! A huge explosion erupted on the bridge. Hojo glared at Seon Ji-han. Seon Ji-han taunted, "Why don't you play with me instead of hiding behind your little minions?" Hojo growled, "You bastard." He swung his sword with a fierce shout. "Ha! Hide? Me, the great Hojo, from someone like you?" Seon Ji-han, calm, glanced at him above. In a split second, he blocked the attack with his staff. Hojo gritted his teeth. "Block this if you can, you little rat." He trembled with fury. Seon Ji-han, with a smirk, responded, "Rat?" As Seon Ji-han deflected the sword, a skeleton slowly stood up, murmuring, "Coming. The darkness is coming." Yoon Se-ah shot her arrow. Her teammates shouted, "They're coming this way again." Yoon Se-ah said, "I'm watching." Through her view, she spotted Song Ji-han and murmured, "Whoa." As Song Ji-han leaped toward Wind Empire's Phoenix Squad leader, Hojo, Yoon Se-ah wondered, will he be all right on his own? Hojo managed to block Song Ji-han's attack and threw him away. The battlefield crackled with energy as the fight continued. Hojo smirked and said, "Ha!" Song Ji-han landed, his body crackling with electricity. With a surge of power, he launched an attack using his phoenix staff. Hojo grunted in pain. Gah! Suddenly, he looked into the distance and scoffed, "Is that all you've got?" Song Ji-han clenched his fists, realization dawning. This bastard. He just absorbed the lightning. This is all the damage I can do, despite the Man of Lightning stat and the borrowed power from Bai Jiang. I guess he really is Bai Jiang's rival boss after all. As Song Ji-han studied Hojo in confusion, the squad leader began charging his next attack. Hojo slashed through the air, sending powerful shockwaves. Hwah! Song Ji-han's eyes widened in shock. I can't see him. Before he could react, Hojo was already behind him. Song Ji-han barely had time to notice before Hojo's blade struck. A sharp pain shot through his body. His arm flew through the air. But at the same time, he had managed to land a hit on Hojo's neck. Hojo stepped back, rubbing the wounded area. "That was close. I went for your head, but you dodged it. You're no ordinary opponent." Hojo narrowed his eyes. "If you'll surrender now, I'll take you in as..." Suddenly, Song Ji-han's severed arm was engulfed in shadows. Hojo's expression twisted in confusion. "Huh?" Song Ji-han smirked. "I assume lightning doesn't work on you. But let's see if lightning imbued with fire doesn't work either." Behind Hojo, a golden phoenix materialized, its body radiating fiery energy. Hojo turned sharply, sensing danger. The phoenix unleashed its divine lightning god technique. Lightning bolt flash. A blinding light filled the battlefield. Moments later, Hojo let out a strangled cry of pain. Charred and defeated, he collapsed to the ground. Song Ji-han stared in disbelief. "What?" "I used the phoenix's powers since lightning didn't work on him. But I never expected to take him down with just that one attack. I thought he was supposed to be the head of the Phoenix Squad, but he's actually weak against the Phoenix's powers." Behind him, Cloud Empire's gatekeeper, Bai Jiang, stepped forward. "I can't believe it. You really defeated Hojo on your own. I meant to help you midway through, but I didn't even get a chance." Song Ji-han chuckled. "Ha ha. He was too weak to deserve your help." He took a deep breath and muttered, "Let's see. Phase 2 is over now. Bi Jiang nodded with amusement. Oh, you're too nice. Song Jihan's eyes sharpened. The last phase should begin soon. Just as he spoke, a dark presence loomed behind him. A chilling key echoed through the air. Song Jihan's face stiffened as he turned. I remember now. The screeching birds flew in circles chanting. Kifek! A system notification flashed. Soul Bridge, final boss Phoenix's offspring. Bi Jiang's expression twisted in shock. What? Hap Newers, holy shit, they made it to phase 3. Hap Lunar, Song Jihan can versus can't defeat the boss, who's betting? Song Jihan narrowed his eyes. The other guy should appear right about now too. Suddenly, a skeleton emerged from the darkness. It staggered forward, muttering, "Dark, the darkness." Bi Jiang's voice wavered. There's still one alive. Song Jihan frowned. Wait, I think something's different about this one. His gaze locked onto the figure. There it is. A system notification appeared. Non-player character, soldier of the Wind Empire whose brainwashing has been undone. The skeleton trembled and let out a chilling scream. The darkness is here. Spittube, they can say things other than ga and ka. Redhead Jeff, ga call all glasses bird. It's an NPC, not some mob minion. It gives you hints on how to beat the third phase. Brownie admin, nerd ass. The skeleton stumbled forward and grabbed Song Jihan's arm. The Phoenix Squad is being manipulated even after death. Because of that dark phoenix, its grip tightened as it whispered. One of those 5 offspring is real. You cannot defeat the enemy without destroying the true darkness. Song Jihan clenched his jaw. That means I have to kill the real offspring. Summary Master, equal to too long, didn't read kill the real one. Aggro Master, it's too long, didn't read lovey-dovey. Can we skip this event PLS? Bi Jiang frowned. There is only one real one. How are we supposed to know? Song Jihan exhaled. I'll figure it out somehow, General. He racked his brain. What was the solution to this again? The skeleton trembled violently and gasped. Ugh, and you cannot use lightning power together with the Phoenix's powers. Song Jihan's eyes narrowed. I don't remember something like this being in the NPC script. Greyshake? What? Going home is the best. Was that meant just for Song Jihan? A system notification flashed. System has detected an abnormality in the NPC script. Unpermitted terminal of a constellation has invaded the game. Song Jihan spun around. Who are you? The skeleton grinned, its hollow eyes gleaming. It opened its mouth and chuckled. Aw, man. Locking eyes with Song Jihan, it smirked. You caught me. As Song Jihan looked at the skeleton, it suddenly spoke. Aw, man, you caught me. Song Jihan broke into a cold sweat, his eyes widening in shock. A constellation? Did one intervene in the game again? Who is it this time? Before he could finish his thought, the skeleton interrupted. Aw, system. Can't I talk to head for just a bit? Song Jihan froze, staring at the skeleton in disbelief. Are you? The skeleton grinned. Long time no see, head. How have you been? Suddenly, a system notification appeared. Proceeding with expulsion process. 3. The skeleton flailed its arms. Ah, all right. Head, you have to be careful of those pigeons. Don't be too conspicuous, though. I came just to tell you that. Then, see you next time. Bye. The skeleton suddenly paused, looking at Song Jihan in confusion. Huh. Did darkness? Song Jihan remained on guard, watching the skeleton disappear. Is it back to normal? In the chat room, messages popped up. Greenhead, what the hell? Pro Dieter, what's with the NPC buffering? LOL. Just then, a piercing screech echoed through the battlefield. Keek! Song Jihan and Bi Jiang snapped their heads toward the sound. Players scrambled for safety. Get away from me. Bi Jiang gritted his teeth. The phoenix is moving again. Be careful, everyone. Song Jihan clenched his fists. Damn it, I'm not supposed to use the divine lightning god technique with the phoenix's flames together. But that's the best combination against undead monsters. Still, I can't just ignore the advice a constellation gave me. A familiar voice rang out. Master, use dark spirit. Song Jihan turned to see Ariel materializing beside him. What? Right now? Ariel's expression darkened. Those phoenixes, they worked with the World Tree Union to slaughter my kind. Song Jihan frowned. Ariel continued. I'm going to use this chance to get revenge. Song Jihan hesitated. No, wait. Ariel's gaze was unwavering. The World Tree Union is an elf union. You mean it was elves that killed your kind? Before she could answer, a phoenix swooped down from above. Keek! Song Jihan barely dodged but winced as he landed. Go! Ariel's voice cut through the chaos. I'll explain later. Take out the eclipse now. The phoenix screeched in agony as Song Jihan struck. Kirik. Song Jihan steadied himself. The attack worked really well. I thought it wouldn't because it's also shadow type. Don't underestimate the power of the dark spirit. Suddenly, a dark phoenix rammed into the barrier. A frightened mage gasped. It's breaking. Buff, hurry! Sophia's voice rang out. I'm already buffing you. From a distance, Bijang launched a fierce attack at the dark phoenix. Get away from my subordinates. His blade sliced through the creature's wing, but almost instantly, it regenerated. Bijang's eyes widened in shock. It regenerated? Song Jihan narrowed his eyes. That's not the original then. The clones regenerate quickly, even when injured. But if the original is hurt, the clones take the same damage. The main point of this game is to find the original as fast as possible. The problem is, a scream rang out behind him. Hua! Help! Somebody get this crazy pigeon away from M. The player was devoured whole. Song Jihan gritted his teeth. So this is the best the golds can do. Bijang and I are the only ones who can deal damage to the phoenixes here. Bijang suddenly slammed his spear into the bridge. This won't do. Everyone, gather around me. He glared at the approaching phoenixes. Back off, you bastards. I will not let you hurt my soldiers. Song Jihan was stunned. Bijang gathered the players. And now the phoenixes are all gathering in one place too. That would mean. He looked at Bijang, then made a split-second decision. Song Jihan sprinted toward him, leaping onto his shoulder. Bijang groaned. Kuhuk! With the boost, Song Jihan soared above the battlefield, his weapon crackling with energy. There's no point in trying to differentiate between the original and the clones. He tightened his grip. I'll just kill you all at once. His power surged. Nameless divine arts, shadow god technique. A massive whirlwind of energy erupted, engulfing the dark phoenixes. Keek, the battlefield trembled. Still hovering mid-air, Song Jihan's breath hitched. But I didn't think about where I'd land. Gravity took hold. He plummeted. Just before he hit the ground, a massive hand caught him. Bijang. The man smirked. I can't believe it. His grip tightened slightly as he studied Song Jihan. Just, what are you? A system notification appeared. NPC Bijang has acknowledged your skills. At the building of Song Jihan, he swung his spear from left to right as he practiced. Suddenly, he smashed the floor, shattering it. He gasped in shock and said, The floor is fine, right? I was controlling the force there too. It's gotten so much stronger. As he looked at the spear, a system notification appeared. Cloud Spear Lightning Item Rank SS greatly reinforces the fused equipment and imbues it with the lightning element. Only equipment of SS rank and above can be fused with this. You will obtain the skill Summon Lightning if you are recognized as the lightning's owner. It is currently fused to the Phoenix flag. Song Jihan said to himself, when I cleared the epic quest in one of the bridges, I received a bunch of rewards, just as I had expected. The biggest reward has to be the Cloud Spear Lightning that Bijang gave me, an item that fuses with others. Pretty unique. I wonder if I can use it on Eclipse too. As he imagined the possibility, Song Jihan looked at Ariel and asked, What do you think, Ariel? She replied, I'm not sure. Its element is the very opposite of Eclipse's on the spectrum, so I don't suggest it. It will probably eat away at Eclipse's power instead. Song Jihan said, I see. Ariel added, Eclipse is strong enough without an item like that. If you receive the original form's support, Eclipse will be even stronger. Song Jihan interrupted, Hey, more importantly, why are you suddenly so big? She stared at him, looking confused. Then she asked, What's wrong with this form? Is there a problem? Song Jihan replied, You were tiny before. Now you're the size of a whole human. Ariel explained, This is my original appearance. I just couldn't maintain it because your dark spirit was too weak. I'm full of energy thanks to all the phoenixes you absorbed that day using the Dark Soul Twister form. I think I'll be able to do much more in the future. As she clenched her fist, Song Jihan broke into a sweat and remained silent. Then he muttered, Well, I like that the dark spirit stat rose too. But it's just uncomfortable because you look too much like that pervert queen. I feel like you're going to try to cut me in half or something. As he imagined her laughing with a disturbing amount of affection, Ariel snapped in frustration. What are you talking about? You've gotten too full of yourself because of the attention the original form has given you. Seong Ji-han replied, I never asked for her attention. Ariel suddenly returned to her previous appearance. Song Ji-han then said, let's resume our last conversation. She asked, which one? Song Ji-han sat down and said, back when we talked on the Seoul Bridge, why were you guys fighting other elves? Ariel became serious. Then she asked, what makes you think that they were our fellow elves? Song Ji-han looked confused. Ariel continued, I don't know if you are aware of this, but all elves are born from the world tree. Only about 1 in 10 are born with the appearance you humans imagine when you think about elves. I was one of the countless defects that were thrown out because my appearance was not satisfactory. The person who saved my soul was my original form, the Shadow Queen. She collected resentful souls like mine, those who were discarded, and revived them as shadow elves. Then, she started a revolution on one of the planets ruled by the World Tree Union and declared it the planet of the Shadow Elves. However, the World Tree Union is the most powerful organization in this universe. That is why the original form is still trying to become more powerful, so that one day we can eradicate them. Song Ji-han listened while sweating. He thought to himself, I didn't know about this. Well, the elves before my regression were a bunch of cruel bastards too. The reason Earth ended was also because of them. Suddenly, Yoon Se-ah shouted, Hua! Song Ji-han and Ariel were startled. He rushed to the other room, where Yoon Se-ah, sweating while holding her phone, said, Uncle, look at this. Korea lost in the BattleNet League again. The headline read, BattleNet League, Korean team loses to Taiwan. Yoon Se-ah muttered, how many times has it been now? What do we do? What if we get a dungeon too? Song Ji-han said, things might happen faster than I expected if things continue like this. Yoon Se-ah looked at him. What? Suddenly his phone rang. He answered, hello. The person on the other line said, Ji-han, this is Manager Park Yoon-sik. Sorry for the sudden call. The situation is more urgent than we had imagined. I think we're going to have to proceed with things earlier than anticipated. Have you perhaps made your decision? As Song Ji-han looked at the headline, BattleNet League, Korean team loses to Taiwan, Manager Park Yoon-sik continued. On my offer about you joining the national team? At the BattleNet department, Manager Park Yoon-sik said, thank you for your answer, Ji-han. Song Ji-han replied, of course, I wanted to be on the team anyway. Manager Park Yoon-sik said, I'm glad to hear that. Song Ji-han thought to himself, nothing good will come out of the Korean team losing even more. It's earlier than I expected, but I'll have to do what I can to recover the country's standing. Manager Park Yoon-sik said, first, let me introduce you to the team. As a man swung his bat, Song Ji-han and Manager Park Yoon-sik were shocked. The man sneered, you little shits. You were trying to make me look bad, huh? Fight properly. Fight like your damn life depends on it. As he struck his teammates, one of them groaned in pain. Kyuk. Manager Park Yoon-sik shouted, Kim Dong-woo. As Kim Dong-woo turned around, Manager Park Yoon-sik demanded, what do you think you're doing right now? Kim Dong-woo shrugged and said, I'm just teaching these guys a lesson. What kind of lesson is this? Manager Park Yoon-sik snapped. Kim Dong-woo looked at Song Ji-han and smirked. Is this the new teammate candidate? Extending his blood-stained hand, he said, nice to meet you, Ji-han. Although I find it unlikely that a goal will be chosen. Song Ji-han stood silently, leaving Kim Dong-woo hanging. Kim Dong-woo chuckled and said, either way, nice to meet you. Song Ji-han glanced at Kim Dong-woo's hand and replied, sure, nice to meet you, as he considered shaking his hand. Kim Dong-woo grinned. Suddenly, his fist shot toward Song Ji-han's face. A loud impact followed, leaving Manager Park Yoon-sik shocked. A few days ago, Manager Park Yoon-sik had said to Kim Dong-woo, we are trying to scout player Song Ji-han into the national team. Kim Dong-woo was taken aback. What? Manager Park Yoon-sik explained, we're still just discussing things, but if player Seong Ji-han agrees, the department is going to run an official test. Kim Dong-woo snapped, are you joking? Even if he's a rising star right now, he's gold. This isn't some kid's play. Are you trying to ruin things by choosing someone just because he's famous? Manager Park Yoon-sik crossed his arms and said, what the hell is up with the league performances ever since the Sword King left? We need better players for the league. Why are all the Korean players so untalented? It would be better to have Song Ji-han in the team. He sighed. This is what the people of Korea are already saying about our national team. There are tons of complaints coming into the department. We will make sure he's qualified through the tests, so don't worry about it. Kim Dong-woo trembled with anger. Yoon Se-jin. In the past, Kim Dong-woo had stood in the distance, listening to reporters shouting, Yoon Se-jin, what was the tactic you used to win this league? You have been chosen as MVP for every round. Can you tell us how you feel? Please look this way, one reporter hesitated. Is it all right not to interview the other players? His colleague scoffed. What? Why would we? The first reporter continued. The Korean team is nothing without the Sword King. They do nothing but get carried the entire game. What is there to ask them? Kim Dong-woo clenched his fists and muttered to himself, Yoon Se-jin, now that he's gone, his damn brother-in-law is getting on my nerves. If he really says he wants to be on the team, then I'll just kill him. In the present, Kim Dong-woo was stunned. What? Song Ji-han had effortlessly caught his punch. Seong Ji-han narrowed his eyes. What do you think you're doing right now? Kim Dong-woo smirked, sweat forming on his brow. He pulled his hand back and laughed. Ha! Man, you're good. I wouldn't expect any less. It was just a simple test. I knew you would block it. Manager Park Yoon-sik eyed Kim Dong-woo, then turned to Song Ji-han. Song Ji-han asked, Is that it for the test, then? Manager Park Yoon-sik hesitated. The department wants to do a separate test. You're a special case, so we needed to come up with a different program. Kim Dong-woo cleared his throat. Why don't we do it properly then so no one can complain? Pardon? Manager Park Yoon-sik asked. Kim Dong-woo smirked and started walking away. If a pro player who has actually been in league games recognizes him, then I'm sure no one else will be able to complain about him. He's a special case, and you said the test will be different than normal. Stopping in his tracks, he turned back to Seong Ji-han and said, Let's do a duel in front of everyone. What do you think? Manager Park Yoon-sik hesitated. Kim Dong-woo? Song Ji-han responded. All right. You're right. No one will be able to complain if we do it like this. Let's go at it. In a different scene at Lee Hae-yeon's office, the news played on the screen. Korea timed Song Ji-han in testing to be on the national team. First ever gold national representative. People Daily, Seong Ji-han syndrome, pulls him into the national tryouts. What is the reason? Online commenters chimed in, Whoa, so the rumors were true. Makes sense. The Korean national team is full of trash. Ji-han has already defeated a diamond player before. To be honest, if you win against an assassin in a close-range fight one-on-one, isn't that like winning against an archer in close-range combat? Are you saying that knowing that Song Ji-han was silver when that happened? LOL. League isn't for everyone, dude. On the phone, Lee Hae-yeon asked Song Ji-han, Are you sure about this? People are talking because a gold is being considered for the national representative team, but a public duel in front of everyone else? On TV? Song Ji-han asked. When is it going to happen? In 1 week, Lee Hae-yeon answered. Should I push it further back? Song Ji-han shook his head. No, that's perfect. Lee Hae-yeon sighed. All right. Then suddenly she said, Hey, I believe in you winning this time too, even though she had never truly believed he would win before. Song Ji-han, not amused, didn't respond. Instead, he sighed in frustration. All right, Lee Hae-yeon laughed it off. Okay, I'll call you if anything happens. Later, Seong Ji-han thought to himself, a public duel that will be live-streamed. He really wants to humiliate me, doesn't he? He probably knew from the start that I'm not strong enough to be on the team yet. However, he opened the system. A system notification appeared. Name Song Ji-han, level 72, affiliation Gold League. Gangnam. One area, another system notification followed. You have reached 99 in the martial power stat. Will you invest 1 point into martial power? Song Ji-han smirked. Do you think it will still be that way in 1 week? The system displayed another message. You have reached 99 in martial power stats. Will you invest 7 points into martial power, yes or no? Without hesitation, Seong Ji-han selected yes. A system notification appeared. Martial power 100 force, 100. Suddenly, a surge of energy rushed through his body. Song Ji-han was shocked. I can feel it. It's just a difference of 1 point, but I can definitely feel a difference. I think. I'll be able to do it now, by controlling the inner energy within my body and the force around me. I'll break down the walls that divide the dantians. A system notification flashed, attempting union of the 3 dantians. A sharp pain coursed through Song Ji-han's body. K-hook, he gasped. It feels like my entire body is being shredded to pieces. I can't stop midway through. I need to endure IIT. He clenched his fists and forced himself forward. Break! Pain surged through him. Kyuk! A system notification appeared. The barriers that divide the dantian. As an intense aura surged, Song Ji-han knelt to the ground, silent. Another system notification followed. You have successfully unified the 3 dantians. Martial power and force have been unified into 1 stat. You have obtained martial spirit, an ability of the stars. Sweating, Song Ji-han whispered, an ability of the stars. Is it better than a unique stat? He took a deep breath. Anyway, I'm glad it was a success. Suddenly, a massive hand appeared behind him. It grabbed him and pulled him away. A system notification flashed. Owner of the martial spirit. The wandering martial god has summoned you. Song Jihan, confused and frustrated, said, an ability. Of the stars, is it better than a unique stat? Anyway, I am glad it was a success. A huge hand hovered above him and grabbed him. Suddenly, he disappeared. A system notification stated, the owner of the martial spirit, the wandering martial god, has summoned you. A few moments later, Seong Jihan opened his eyes on the ground, drenched in sweat. He said, ugh. As he sat up, confused, and looked around, he muttered to himself, what is this place? Then, to himself again, the status window I last saw said that the martial god summoned me. A system notification said the wandering martial god has summoned you. He took away my gift because my 3 dantians were only partially connected last time. This time, he summoned me directly? A man in the darkness behind him said, it has been a while since we had a guest. Seong Jihan stood up and looked at him in confusion. Sweating, he asked, are you the wandering martial god? The figure smirked and replied, you are too low level to meet him. You might die the moment you lay eyes on him, so I came in his stead. I am the martial god's subordinate, someone who has lived for 180,000 years. I am Dongfang Shuo. Seong Jihan was shocked. He whispered to himself, Dongfang Shuo. A system notification appeared. Dongfang Shuo's spoilt brush. Item rank, SS. This is the brush of the famous writer Dongfang Shuo. It holds a link to the martial god. Dongfang Shuo said, I am sure you are wondering why the martial god summoned you. I will get straight to the point. Give up the martial spirit and become the martial god's subordinate. Seong Jihan responded, what? Dongfang Shuo explained, the martial spirit is a power that only one being per planet can possess. If you continue to hold that power. He pointed at the sky, and swords emerged, floating above and pointing toward Seong Jihan. Dongfang Shuo continued, the moment you reach the proper level, the martial god will have you killed. However, if you relinquish it and serve him, you will live forever as his subordinate. What will you do? As the swords pointed directly at him, Song Jihan thought to himself, what is this all about? Only one person per planet can possess the martial spirit. Does that mean the martial god is from Earth? No, that is not the important part right now. The choices given to me are to die or to become a slave. I feel like he will not kill me immediately even if I refuse to become one. Dongfang Shuo said, it is clear what you are thinking. I will give you advice, since I value the life of a young man like you. All these weapons and shields scattered across this planet, they are the possessions of constellations who once challenged the martial god and lost. Do not bet your life on something you cannot win. What is the point of freedom if it only ends with your death? As Song Jihan silently looked up, he finally said, you are right. Dongfang Shuo nodded and said, right then. But Song Jihan cut him off, but I will not become a slave. I just need to use my martial spirit to defeat the martial god in the future. Is that not right? In order to protect my family, my hometown, and my planet, I cannot become a slave to someone else. Dongfang Shuo was shocked. He muttered, I see. You may be a young man, but you still possess the martial spirit. Dongfang Shuo stroked his beard and said, I like you. Yes, a man should possess such spirit. However, suddenly, he dashed toward Seong Jihan and struck him with his open palm, sending him flying like a bullet. Seong Jihan managed to plant his feet on the ground to stop himself. He then grunted in pain. Kuk. Dongfang Shuo said, the law that is the simplest and closest to the truth in this world is that the strong survive. You already know that spirit alone will not keep you alive, do you not? If you truly wish to challenge the martial god someday, you will first need to be able to fight me on equal footing. Dongfang Shuo drew his sword and slashed toward Seong Jihan. As Seong Jihan watched, multiple attacks surged in his direction. Dongfang Shuo said, so try taking this on. He pointed his sword at Seong Jihan. Seong Jihan was stunned. He thought to himself, how the heck am I supposed to block something like that? Suddenly, a voice called out, stop. Dongfang Shuo looked behind him as a towering figure appeared. Immediately, Dongfang Shuo knelt and said, sweating, martial god. Song Jihan whispered to himself, that is, the wandering martial god? He froze. The wandering martial god said, thinking of defeating me when you are not even a constellation yet. How interesting. All right, I will wait for you. As Song Jihan began sweating, he was suddenly shocked as energy formed and surged around him. The wandering martial god said, "I will look forward to the day we meet again, Song Ji-han." As Song Ji-han fell into the void, he suddenly crashed to the ground. The people around him gasped in shock. Song Ji-han sat up, panting. Huff, huff. My head feels like it's going to break. It's like someone bashed it with a hammer. Just looking at a part of him had this much of a consequence. Is this the power gap between the martial god and me? Ha! It's Song Ji-han. Are you back? Where have you been all this time? Did you give up on the test to join the national team? Before he could gather his thoughts, a car screeched to a halt nearby. Yoon Se-ah jumped out and ran to him. Uncle. She grabbed him tightly. Uncle, where have you been? Song Ji-han, drenched in sweat, was silent for a moment. What is going on? What is with all of you? A reporter shouted from behind. Song Ji-han, please look this way. Yoon Se-ah snapped. Do you really not know? You've been missing for a whole week. Song Ji-han was stunned. Just then, Lee Hae-on stepped out of the car. Mr. Ji-han, get in, hurry. They rushed into the car as reporters swarmed the area. Mr. Song Ji-han, Mr. Ji-han. Wait. Inside the vehicle, Lee Hae-on said, where have you been all this time? It's been chaotic this past week. The police couldn't find a single clue. Do you know how worried Se-ah was? Yoon Se-ah looked at him, still sweating from panic. Lee Hae-on continued, there were rumors you were kidnapped, or that you were staying quiet to avoid the duel. The reporters even camped out at your apartment. It was such a mess. Song Ji-han thought to himself, that much time passed while I was meeting Dongfeng Shuo and the martial god. He then said aloud, wait, what about the national team test? Isn't it today? Was it cancelled? Lee Hae-on hesitated, then said, that has not been called off. At the BattleNet apartment building, a reporter shouted, Mr. Kim Dong-woo, is the duel still happening today? Kim Dong-woo replied, as long as Ji-han returns, yes. Another reporter asked, but Song Ji-han has been missing for a week now. What do you think about the rumors he's avoiding the duel? Kim Dong-woo responded, he told me something when we first met. I'm going to crush you in front of everyone watching. You better accept your failure like a man. He clenched his fists and thought, I don't care where you are, Song Ji-han. Take responsibility for your words as a man. But then he smirked. Actually, this is perfect. I hope he never comes back. That would make this easy. Just then a bolt of lightning struck the ground beside him. Kim Dong-woo turned and saw Song Ji-han standing there. Yes, I just arrived. Reporters gasped. It's Song Ji-han. Mr. Song Ji-han, where have you been? Are you still taking the test? Whoa, did he fall from the sky? What an entrance. Kim Dong-woo, trembling in frustration, called out, Ji-han, you're alive. I'm glad you made it on time. Let's head inside and prepare for the duel. Another reporter shouted, Mr. Song Ji-han, just one question. A few moments later, inside the waiting area, Kim Dong-woo thought, I really thought he ran off out of fear. Why did he have to come back? But he looks awful. Was he just sick or something? Song Ji-han held his chest, wincing. I still feel the aftershocks from Dongfeng Shuo and the martial god. And then there's the new stat I received, martial spirit. A system notification appeared. Name, Song Ji-han level 72 affiliation. Gold League, Gangnam 1 area martial spirit, 100 dark spirit, 35 mana of lightning, 2007. And Song Ji-han thought, I have no idea how I'm supposed to utilize this. This fight might be tougher than usual. Inside the arena, the announcer's voice echoed, we've all been waiting for this moment. Manager Park Yoon-sik muttered, looks like the duel is happening after all. An officer sighed. He arrived just in time, scared me half to death. The announcer continued, the official test to select a new national representative team member. The public duel between national team member Kim Dong-woo and Gold League player Song Ji-han shall now begin. Online comments started flooding in. Wind sheep, holy poop. Greeny, what the heck, when did Song Ji-han come back? Info Analyzer, Song Ji-han. Sorry guys, I vanished to get more views. Supreme chicken. I just ordered chicken. Ji-han, please hold out for at least 30 minutes. Ji-hanapatakame. Should you not be hoping for Kim Dong-woo to last 30 minutes instead? Laughing my butt off. Sword King God, get out of here. Kim Dong-woo looked at him and said, are you all right? Song Ji-han replied flatly, that is none of your concern. Kim Dong-woo chuckled, haha, no, I'm not worried. I don't care if you're sick or whatever. Just don't start making excuses like a scaredy cat after losing. With that, he charged towards Song Ji-han. Song Ji-han suddenly evaded. Surprised, he muttered to himself, I guess he really is a national team member. Mr. Kim Dong-woo continued his assault and shouted, ha! As Song Ji-han dodged, he thought, but his technique and speed are severely lacking. If he just keeps pushing forward like this, it only makes it easier for me to exploit his openings. Mr. Kim Dong-woo was caught off guard as Song Ji-han's body crackled with electricity. Kim Dong-woo narrowed his eyes and growled, "You! How dare you!" Song Ji-han moved like a bolt of lightning. In the next instant, he was behind Mr. Kim Dong-woo, who froze in confusion. Song Ji-han punched him square in the back. He widened his eyes in surprise. What the heck? But Kim Dong-woo grabbed Song Ji-han's fist and sneered, "Your movements are far too obvious." A system notification appeared. Kim Dong-woo's S-rank gift, less than precognition greater than. Despite the grand name, it does not allow one to see far into the future. Its true value lies in its ability to predict an opponent's next move. In theory, as long as the user can physically respond, they can dodge all attacks. Song Ji-han unleashed a rapid barrage of blows, yet Mr. Kim Dong-woo managed to evade every one of them. Suddenly, Song Ji-han's eyes widened. Kim Dong-woo's fist was already inches from his face. He quickly raised his arms to block. "Kyuk," he grunted in pain. He thought, "My absolute territory. It's not activating like before." Kim Dong-woo laughed. "What a fool," he thought. "Fighting me barehanded, without magic or a weapon? Even if you keep swinging like that, you will never touch me." He drew his sword and slashed. The ground exploded with a thunderous blast. Kim Dong-woo grinned. Dust filled the arena. Blood dripped from Song Ji-han. A nearby officer stood up from his seat in shock. "What? What just happened? Wait, the screen!" As the dust began to clear, Kim Dong-woo's sword clattered to the ground. He stared at his arm, confused. "Huh?" Then he screamed like a little girl, "Ooh-ah! Poop! What the fudge? Why is my arm?" Song Ji-han, now radiating with a crimson aura, said, "So this is how I am supposed to use it." Kim Dong-woo, pale with panic, thought, "What? I was the one who attacked first, so why was I the one who got hurt?" Song Ji-han said coldly, "Thanks. Because you were running around like a little rat, you helped me get the hang of this." He stepped forward. Kim Dong-woo, still trembling, pulled out another sword. He told himself, "Fudge, do not be scared. Calm down. His next move is, my face." Kim Dong-woo attempted to dodge Song Ji-han's punch, but Song Ji-han stopped his fist just before impact. The shockwave alone sent Kim Dong-woo flying like a bullet. Sliding across the ground, Kim Dong-woo barely managed to stay standing. Sweating, his nose bleeding, he thought in disbelief, "No way. I definitely dodged. So how did he still hit me?" Song Ji-han continued advancing. A system notification appeared. The new stat Song Ji-han earned, Martial Spirit. Martial Spirit is a combination of martial power and force. Martial power enhances the body. Force is a telekinetic energy used to wrap and reinforce the body. Song Ji-han thought, "If I can properly master this ability, I will possess both offensive and defensive power." He struck again. Kim Dong-woo flew and crashed into the arena wall. The announcer shouted, Am I seeing this right?" Player Song Ji-han is completely overwhelming player Kim Dong-woo. Kim Dong-woo groaned in pain. "Kohuk." Song Ji-han narrowed his eyes. "Huh, he's still conscious. He's definitely resilient." Kim Dong-woo coughed. Cool. "You are better than I expected. Not bad for a Gold League player." Song Ji-han remained silent, confused. Kim Dong-woo stood up weakly and declared, "You pass, Song Ji-han. I will accept you as part of our team." Song Ji-han punched him square in the face. "You," he said coldly, "acknowledge me? As if." The announcer shouted, That decides the winner. Player Kim Dong-woo is no longer able to fight. In other words, the winner is player Song Ji-han." In the comment section, Miminhu, holy poop, holy poop, holy poop. Best chicken is marinated chicken. My chicken's not here yet, man. Nationalistone, I am so grateful that Song Ji-han is a fellow Korean. National rep, are we really having a gold leaguer in the national rep team? Holy poop. Parrot Numbahone, mom, in my next life, I will be Song Ji-han. Mom, in my next life, I will be Song Ji-han. Mom, in my next life, I will be Song Ji-han. Mom, in my next life, I will be Song Ji-han. Ito Shizuru, while watching Song Ji-han's fight with Mr. Kim Dong-woo, said, he really defeated a national team member. Then, will he be attending the next international competition? What do you think, Sejin? Yoon Sejin grinned in frustration and replied, "I do not know." He struggled to cut his beef Wellington with a dull butter knife, clearly irritated. He continued, "He has nothing to do with me anymore. If we come across each other in the game, I will just slay him like any other opponent." Ito Shizuru smirked. "Oh, you are cold." A waiter approached and said, "I will be refilling your wine, Miss Shizuru." As he poured, a few drops of wine landed on Ito Shizuru's delicate hand. The waiter stammered, I am sorry. Let me wipe that up right away. Ito Shizuru slapped him hard across the face. She then took her glass, smiled, and poured the wine onto the ground. Oh no, what a waste, she said sweetly. I spilled the wine on the floor. Will you lick it up for me? As she activated her power, the waiter smiled blankly and replied, Yes, of course. He got on the floor and began licking the spilled wine. Ito Shizuru turned to Seijin. Seijin, are you certain that you will win if you were to fight Song Jihan? Yoon Seijin replied, Right now, yes. But if he keeps improving at this rate, I do not know how it will be next year. Ito Shizuru thought to herself, even Seijin is uncertain. That would mean he is already much stronger than when he fought Akari, and it has not even been that long since then. Meanwhile, in a post-fight interview, a reporter asked, Mr. Song Jihan, how do you feel about becoming a new member of the team? Song Jihan replied, I have always wanted to try it. I think I just got lucky. The reporter laughed. Haha, you are being too humble after such an easy win. Could you share your mindset as a new national representative team member? Seong Jihan thought to himself, Yoon Seijin, I wonder if that rascal is watching this. He looked directly into the camera and declared, Everyone watching this, I know you have been concerned about the performance of the Korean national representative team, but rest assured, Korea will not lose again. I understand it may be hard to believe since I just joined the team, but I promise you this right now, if I meet the Sword King in the next games, I will cut off the head of that traitorous bastard and offer it as a gift to you all. At that moment, Yoon Seijin felt a chill crawl down his spine. In a private room at a restaurant, Lee Hae-in raised her glass and shouted, Raise your glasses! A toast to Mr. Song Jihan for becoming part of the national representative team. You did great approximately. Everyone clinked their glasses. Song Jihan said, Thanks. Yoon Se-ah asked, Uncle, are you going to be staying in the team dorm for training? Seong Jihan replied, Yeah. They'll be giving me the schedule soon. Yoon Se-ah exclaimed, Ooh, approximately. Lim Gae-young, sweating slightly, said, I'm ranking up pretty fast too, but I still can't catch up to you. From gold to national representative. Yoon Se-ah reassured her, No, I'm sure you'll make it soon too. Why don't we all make it our goal to get on the team? I'll go for the archer position, and you can go for the warrior position. She turned to Diego, who was sipping a glass of beer. Nationality, Argentina. Name, Diego. Yoon Se-ah sweated nervously. Ah, Lee Hae-in quickly added, Well, not everyone needs to be on the national representative team approximately. Let's just all do our best. Guildmaster, why are you stuttering? Someone teased. Song Jihan stammered, What? When did I? Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a system notification appeared. System notification, abnormality detected in skill Nameless Divine Arts. System notification, martial spirit is causing refusion of Nameless Divine Arts. System notification. You must either change the 3 techniques of the Nameless Divine Arts for improved adaptation, or guess the true name of Nameless Divine Arts. System notification. Would you like to try guessing the true name of Nameless Divine Arts? Seong Jihan's eyes widened. This is... In my past life, I obtained Nameless Divine Arts too late. Earth met its end before I could discover its true name. But this time, I got it much earlier. The 3 techniques must be less than Shadow God Technique greater than, less than Divine Lightning God Technique greater than, and less than God Destroying Technique. If I cannot find clues for the true name, system notification, you must change the 3 techniques of the Nameless Divine Arts for better adaptation. Song Jihan thought to himself, it might be better to just replace the 3 techniques. Diego raised his glass and called out, What are you doing, Mr. Song Jihan? You need to give a speech approximately. Song Jihan chuckled. Well, all right, I'd better think about this later. He thought. Seong Jihan said, To be honest, all I did was get lucky enough to scout you all into the guild. I want to thank you all for believing in me and trying your best. Our next dinner party will be when Korea takes first place in the World Leagues. Cheers! As they raised their glasses, the scene changed. And a different scene, an oblivious man slowly opened his eyes and murmured, As his eyes opened wider, he said in confusion, Suddenly shocked, he sat up and gasped. An announcer's voice echoed, Welcome to Gold League, Gangnam area. This mission is survival. The map is testing lab. As he looked around, sweat formed on his brow, and his shock deepened. Seong Jihan thought to himself, Testing lab. That's a map you get from level 75 onwards. Darn it, I got it as soon as I hit level 75. I didn't even look at the tips for this map. A boy shouted, sugar. Why the red zone? A mage groaned, ugh. My level is going to fall. The oblivious man thought to himself, red zone. What did that mean again? The announcer said, the game will soon begin. There are a total of 100 survivors at the moment. Fight and survive. Lasers opened, signaling the start. The announcer continued until there were only 50 remaining. The oblivious man looked behind as others were cut down cleanly. A man shouted, "Hooah!" Chaos erupted. Move! The oblivious man thought, What? The system said, players who are summoned into a survival map are randomly placed into one of 3 zones, green, yellow, or red. The red zone is full of traps, and because of this, it is also called the graveyard for beginners. As the dust cleared, the oblivious man and others were exhausted. They all panted, huff, huff. A man behind said, darn it, how unlucky could I get? I would have been fine if I got the green or yellow zone. The oblivious man thought, right, I have to fight others as well as watch out for traps. This is too hard. An archer called out, wait everyone, let's not fight. It's hard enough trying to avoid traps. We are all going to end up dead at this rate. It is 50 people over all 3 zones. Green, 30, yellow, 27, red, 14 total survivors, 71. The archer added, the other zone's people will kill each other, so let's not fight. If we work together, we should be able to find the traps easier too. A swordsman said, A mage said, this is giving me déjà vu. Another mage said, now, I will take that as an agreement from all of you. Is there anyone who has never been on this map before? I feel like some of you just hit level 75. Get over here. I will tell you where the traps might be and some tips for this map. The oblivious man thought, oh, this is not bad. The archer and mage looked at each other with smirk. A boy mage asked, are the 4 of you level 75? The oblivious man answered, yes, that is right. The boy mage then pointed his staff at the oblivious man. Both the oblivious man and another boy began to sweat nervously. The oblivious man said, what are you doing right now? The boy mage replied, huh? I am giving you tips right now. The archer teased, idiots approximately cuckoo. The swordsman laughed. They really fell for it, cuckoo. You would have all died to the traps even if it were not for use approximately cuckoo. Do not you think it is much better to learn tips like this before dying? That is a fact. The lady mage said, I thought you might do this, but are you serious? You are scamming newbies? The swordsman said, well, I will not stop them. We all experienced it the first time. The mage added, well then, keep this tactic in mind next time you are here approximately viche now. He charged his staff and made an attack, causing a huge explosion. They all smirked. A shadow remained standing. Suddenly a force grabbed the shadow and levitated them. The shadow gasped, Kohook? What? They were slammed to the ground and exclaimed, what the heck is going on? The oblivious man thought, my memory was not too clear on this map, but Song Jihan said, thanks for the great tips. He struck the boy mage and the archer. Another cried in pain, wah. In the comments, people wrote ego battle, laughing out loud bunny hater, he is basically smurfing, illegal user ugly. Red zone X ecosystem disturbance zone, 0. As Seong Jihan raised his sword, the swordsman shouted, you insane mother freaker. Seong Jihan ended him silently. Then he said, was that it? A system notification appeared. Red, 1, green, 28, yellow, 25 total survivors, 54. Song Jihan said, what? It is still not 50? That is annoying. It is not like I can go over to the other zone. Ariel said, Song Jihan, watch out. Song Jihan was shocked. Ariel? Ariel said, this place seems familiar. I just realized that this is the World Tree Union's lab. There was always a lab like this left behind on planets where the elves had invaded. I have investigated a few of those abandoned labs before. Some of my kind have died from the traps left behind too. I have never been here as a game map, but to think I would be back here. Song Jihan said to himself, if she is right, does that mean a facility the elves own is appearing as a game map? I thought it was just a unique concept for a survival map, but that is a bit strange. Suddenly, the emergency alarm sounded. The alarm announced, 1 survivor remains in the red zone. Non-standard testing subject found. Non-standard testing subject found. Proceeding with incineration. Lasers lit up the room. Song Jihan, confused, said, What? What the heck is this? He was suddenly surrounded. In the comments, people said, Jinwa friend Jihan, this is why you cannot smurf in the red zone. Windsheep, he really did not read the tutorial, laughing out loud. Hook Collector 12, ? Never look down on the people again. Song Jihan said, what the heck, am I supposed to just die? Ariel shouted. Song Ji-han, that way, run towards that door. Seong Ji-han, confused, asked, what? Ariel said, if my memory is correct, those doors are the crack in the realm. When the trap is activated, you should be able to get through it. Seong Ji-han said, it just looks like a wall. Ariel urged, hurry. It will not stay open for long. Song Ji-han ran as fast as lightning. He muttered, you're dead meat if you're wrong. He reached for the door. A bright light shone. He closed his eyes. Then he gently opened one eye, sweating. Song Ji-han was shocked and said, what the heck? A few moments later, by a fountain, Song Ji-han said, Ariel, where am I? Ariel replied, I do not know. I did not know where it was going to lead you. A system notification appeared. You have cleared the hidden quest, escape the red zone. Another notification, an epic quest has been unlocked. And then, epic quest, find the owner of the TS laboratory and discover the purpose of the experiments. Reward, achievement points, 100,000. Unknown. Seong Ji-han thought to himself, this one's a bit different from the usual quests. Purpose of the experiments. He opened his eyes wider. An elf approached Song Ji-han and said, who are you? Did a testing subject escape? Song Ji-han thought, an elf. Ariel warned, it is a real elf. Song Ji-han, be careful. Song Ji-han thought, yeah, I know. Ariel explained, those labs were from the World Tree Union. A system notification repeated, find the owner of the testing laboratory and discover the purpose of the experiments. Song Ji-han thought, is this elf the owner then? The elf said, a testing subject has never made it this far. How interesting. Would you like some tea? I happen to be having some tea time just now. Song Ji-han thought, I'd love to just beat some answers out of her, but I cannot do something as rash as that without knowing what kind of skills she has. I had better play along for now. Song Ji-han walked towards the elf and said, sure. A few moments later, the elf poured a cup of tea for Song Ji-han. He waited patiently. She then said, here. Song Ji-han thought, I do not feel too good about this. She did not poison it, did she? They both raised their cups. Ariel muttered, that witch. Why do you not just kill her? Song Ji-han thought, no. Just calm down for now. I will act natural. It should not be so dangerous since we are still in the tutorial. Song Ji-han said, thank you. The elf stared at him. Song Ji-han asked, so, what is this place? You do not seem like an ordinary player either. Who are you? What were you doing with the testing lab? The elf smiled and said, you sure are curious. You can take it slowly. This is just a garden I like. Of course, I am not here to participate in the tutorial. I have been observing you all. Song Ji-han thought, she's answering my questions. I might be able to get all the answers I need. He asked, then why are you observing us? The elf put down her cup and said, that is simple, so that if I come across a unique one like you, I can turn you into a slave. Seong Ji-han was shocked. He felt something strange. He dropped his cup of tea and fell to the ground. He thought, my body. The elf said, it is hard to move, huh? Do not worry, your breathing and heart rate will stabilize soon. As Song Ji-han trembled, the elf grabbed his hair and said, then you will be my slave, and your head will be full of thoughts of me. And just me. Seong Ji-han sweated nervously. In the comments, people wrote, Shout Go Ji-han has donated 10,000 GP. What is wrong, Ji-han? Are you okay? A mullah party. What is with the cliché of poisoning teas? Laughing out loud. Lol. There was an event like this in the testing lab map? Well, user, this does not look too good. Balde, should the system not intervene or something? The elf let Song Ji-han go and said, Tish, you've got eyes on you. How annoying. The announcer said, there are now 50 survivors remaining. 26 remaining in the green zone, 23 in the yellow zone, 1 in the red zone. The game will soon end. The elf said, ha, it is already over? Weaklings. Well, I have planted the leaf, so I will just have to wait for the next opportunity. Slave, I order you. Come to me right away when the next game starts. As Song Ji-han vanished, a few moments later, he arrived at his flat. Ariel said, Song Ji-han, are you all right? Goodness, I should have tried harder to stop you. I did not expect that elf to get her hands on a player who has not even finished the tutorial. Plus, this symbol. It is the leaf of the world tree. Get it together, Song Ji-han. You cannot fall for those cowards. Ariel transformed into a normal-sized human and slapped the crap out of Seong Ji-han. She shouted, Get up! Song Ji-han grabbed Ariel's fist as she stopped. He said, Who said I fell for those cowards? Ariel said, Song Ji-han. Suddenly, Yoon Se-ah opened the door and said, Uncle, first you got brainwashed by your brother-in-law's girlfriend. And now you've been treated like a slave by an elf who poisoned you. Are you all right? Seeing Ariel and Seong Ji-han, she said, the elf that did that was Ariel. Ariel shouted, no. A few moments later, Seong Ji-han said, As Yoon Se-ah and Ariel watched the recording, Seong Ji-han said, so, this elf planted a leaf of the world tree in me? Ariel answered, yes, the leaves can be used to undo all status abnormalities, but they can also be used to manipulate others to your will. Most warriors cannot fight its effects either. Song Ji-han thought to himself, so the world tree's leaves had that kind of power. Ariel asked, but how are you all right? Yoon Se-ah said, you managed to endure Shizuru's seduction too, so maybe that is why. Ariel scoffed, a lower being's powers are not comparable to that of the world trees. Song Ji-han said, I think it is thanks to the martial spirit. I have earned perfect control over my own body after obtaining the martial spirit. At first, I lost control because I was taken aback by the strange sensation, but I was able to manipulate the external energy that tried to control me soon enough. Yoon Se-ah asked, Ariel, do you get what he is saying? Ariel replied, your uncle is overpowered, basically. Song Ji-han said, but I still do not like having this leaf in me. Can I cut it out? Yoon Se-ah said, do not say things like that. Ariel said, such barbaric methods will not do. It has become one with your body, so it will not be possible without the elf's technology. Song Ji-han said, I guess I will have to see that elf again, then. Yoon Se-ah looked at Song Ji-han sweating nervously and said, Uncle, wouldn't it be okay to just leave the leaf in you, if it will not cause problems? If something happens because you go see the elf again. Song Ji-han said, Se-ah, I am fine. Do you not believe in me? Song Ji-han thought to himself, sorry, Se-ah, I do not want to make you worry, but this might be necessary for my plan. And a few days later, at the BattleNet department, Song Ji-han walked slowly. Yoon Se-ah said on the phone, Uncle, are you already at the department? Song Ji-han said, yeah, I am inside right now. Yoon Se-ah said, oh, then are there a bunch of teammates there too? Do you see anyone famous? Song Ji-han laughed and said, ha. I am probably the most famous here. After making it into the national representative team, I was given the schedule for the training. I feel a bit, very iffy about having to train with the very person I beat up live in front of everyone. But attendance is mandatory. Yoon Se-ah asked, do you have to stay at the dorm there though? Seong Ji-han said, I do not like it either, but yeah. I am only getting the schedule today though. The training begins next week. Yoon Se-ah said, approximately I am going to be home alone then. I will be bored. Seong Ji-han said, let us have you come here for training too. Yoon Se-ah said, nonsense. Haha. Song Ji-han said, I am not being overprotective. I feel like you are going to starve to death without me. Yoon Se-ah said, I am out grocery shopping right now, actually. Song Ji-han said, by approximately, and as Gato Akari followed Yoon Se-ah, she continued to stare at her from a distance. She said to herself, Song Ji-han is definitely not nearby. I do not see anyone with her either. She is alone. I cannot stall any longer. I will put an end to this as quickly as I can. I will get closer to her first. Suddenly, Ariel said, we have got a little rat here. Who the heck are you? Gato Akari was shocked. She thought to herself, is this a summoned creature that Song Ji-han put on Yoon Se-ah? How did it spot me? I need to look for an opportunity to get out. Yoon Se-ah said, Ariel? Who is that? Gato Akari was shocked and looked at Yoon Se-ah. Ariel said, this human has been following you for a while. Yoon Se-ah said, what? What do you mean? As Gato Akari tried to run, Ariel shouted, I will not let you. You are not getting away from me. Ariel attacked Gato Akari. Suddenly, Gato Akari disappeared into the shadows. Ariel was shocked and confused. A shadow, she exclaimed. She suddenly stopped and shouted, Yoon Se-ah, get out of the way. A hand reached out toward Yoon Se-ah, but in that instant, lightning burst out from her body. Gato Akari recoiled in shock. Whoa, she cried, feeling the pain surge through her. Suddenly, swords materialized behind her. Ariel moved quickly toward her. That one could have been really bad, Gato Akari thought to herself, if she does it again. I have you now, Ariel shouted, as swords appeared above Gato Akari and she launched her attack. Yoon Se-ah called out, Ariel, did you kill them? We only needed to capture them. Ariel replied calmly, I know how to control my strength. Huff, huff. Gato Akari breathed heavily. With a pointy nose and a proud expression, Ariel said, see? She is alive. Let us take a look at this pervert's face. She moved to remove Gato Akari's cap and hoodie. Ack! Gato Akari cried in pain. Yoon Se-ah stepped forward, eyes widening. Huh? This The ninja who tried to kidnap Uncle last time. I knew she looked familiar, Ariel said. Why are you here again? Yunsei asked. Is it that Shizuru lady again? Ariel said. You want to keep coming at us even after going through all that? These guys are really determined. Gato Akari remembered what she had said to Ito Shizuru. I apologize, Miss Shizuru. I did not expect a Silver League player to be so strong. I am ashamed. Please forgive me. Ito Shizuru twirled her hair, smirking. Well, it is fine. We can use another method to bring Song Jihan here. Gato Akari looked confused. Shizuru snapped her fingers. Come in. Gato Akari's eyes widened in shock. Shizuru said, I saw that you have a cute sister, Akari. Akari. A trembling voice called. Gato Akari's face went pale. Shh, Hiyori? Shizuru casually walked away and said, Family helps each other out, right? She placed a hand on Hiyori's shoulder and added, Did you say your name was Hiyori? My entire plan has been ruined because your sister was so useless. We need to fix the issue. Will you lend me your body for it? Back in the present, I only did it because I was ordered to, Gato Akari said to Yunsei. Who would want to do this stuff? I was only trying to lure Song Jihan using you. I was not going to harm you. Whatever situation you might be in, I cannot just pretend like nothing happened. It does not just concern my safety, but my uncle's too. We should contact him first instead of the cops, right? Yunsei pulled out her phone and called. The phone rang, but suddenly, Gato Akari took a knife out from behind her back. Hello? Yunsei said, Uncle, can you talk right now? I am close to station right now. At that moment, Gato Akari moved. She slashed at Ariel, cutting her in half. Yunsei's eyes went wide with horror. Ariel? On the other end of the line, Song Jihan said, Seiya, what is going on? Breathing heavily, Gato Akari muttered, Ha! I thought you would be forgiving if I acted all sad. You are colder than I thought, Seiya. And earlier she had pleaded with Ito Shizuru, Miss Shizuru, you use me instead. I will give you my body, so please spare my sister. A system notification appeared. Player Akari has given over rights to use her body. Will you use Akari as an ingredient to create a clone? Akari's ego will be lost once the clone is created. Now, in the present, Ito Shizuru, inside Gato Akari's body, spoke with a cruel smile. Aren't you being too cruel to someone who will soon become your stepmother? Yunsei was shocked and said to herself, That face? Ito Shizuru? Song Jihan, on the phone, shouted, Seiya, what's wrong? Yunsei cried, Uncle, there's... Suddenly, her phone shattered from Ito Shizuru's attack. Ito Shizuru said calmly, Seiya, I'm still talking approximately. As she grabbed Yunsei's neck, Yunsei trembled in pain. Ugh. A system notification appeared. Ito Shizuru is attempting obedience. Ito Shizuru smiled. Why don't we have a little chat? Just the two of us. Yunsei gasped in her thoughts. This is, as her phone smoked on the ground. Meanwhile, Manager Park asked, Song Jihan? What was that? Song Jihan stared at his phone, which now read, Call ended. Seiya, he muttered. Manager Park asked again, Song Jihan? Song Jihan stood frozen, fear gripping him for Yunsei's life. Back in the fight, Yunsei thought to herself, Isn't this the skill that uncle almost fell for? I feel weird. She's someone who took my dad. There's no way I can like her. But right now, suddenly, Yunsei's hand began to shine. Electricity surged and struck Ito Shizuru, forcing her hand away in pain. A system notification appeared. Seal of Lightning is resisting the mental corruption. Obedience has failed. Ito Shizuru stared, stunned. What? There's another person who can resist my power? Yunsei looked at her hands, her expression now serious. She said coldly, Hey Granny, don't put your hands on me without my consent. Ito Shizuru's expression twisted with rage. Granny? How dare you call me that? Her aura exploded with fury as she lunged forward. But Yunsei suddenly disappeared from her grasp. Ito Shizuru gasped. She vanished? Looking around, she muttered. Where did she suddenly go? Is it a stealth skill? Come on out. She bit her thumb, sweating. How did she even endure obedience in the first place? Back then, Song Jihan did it. And now this girl. Suddenly, Ariel appeared behind her. You, what are you? Did you possess that ninja's body? Ito Shizuru turned in confusion. What? You're suddenly bigger. How strange. Or is this your original size? She reached out and grabbed Ariel's face. Yes. You should know a lot about Song Jihan. Why don't you tell me everything about him? Ariel smirked. A system notification appeared. Your gift cannot be used on the target due to a difference in stats. Ariel said, How ridiculous. You think you can brainwash me when I am far superior to your kind? Ito Shizuru muttered, What's this? It's not just a simple difference in species. This is something I have never felt before. Suddenly a massive hand appeared behind her. She turned in shock. The hand slammed her into the ground. Ah! She cried in pain. Ariel looked down at her. Your movements are much duller than the last time I saw you. I guess it's because you forcibly took her body away from her. As Ito Shizuru lay pinned to the ground, a glowing barrier erupted. Ariel stepped back, surprised. Ito Shizuru pulled out an item and sighed. Phew, I didn't want to use it in a situation like this, because it's such a rare item. A system notification appeared. Absolute Defense Charm 1 use. Rank S. Ito Shizuru managed to sit up. Ariel crossed her arms. You're using items to make up for your lack of skill? How long do you think you can endure with petty little tricks like that? Ito Shizuru sneered. Don't worry, I've got quite a few gifts from people who treasure me. She thought to herself, my plan's gone awry. I didn't expect that some summoned creature Seong Jihan left behind would get in my way like this. I need to grab Yoon Se-ah and get out of here. She looked around, eyes darting. But where has the brat gone? From a distance, Yoon Se-ah watched quietly, her body hidden beneath a cloak. She trembled and thought, wait, did it work? Neither Shizuru nor Ariel was looking at her. It's like I'm watching them from another dimension. This item that Uncle gave me, I didn't expect to use it like this. I better hold on until it's safe again. Suddenly, she noticed something behind her. She turned her head. A system notification appeared. You have entered the domain of void. A tornado began to form. Yoon Se-ah's eyes widened in horror. Another system notification flashed. Please be careful not to be overtaken by the void. As Ito Shizuru threw multiple daggers at Ariel, Ariel managed to dodge them all. She tried to attack Ito Shizuru, but a barrier suddenly blocked her strike. Ito Shizuru sneered, I told you, your attacks won't work on me. Suddenly something appeared behind her. Yoon Se-ah emerged from the shadows. Ito Shizuru and Ariel both looked back, confused. Yoon Se-ah? Ito Shizuru murmured as she fell to the ground. Yoon Se-ah whispered to herself, What was that just now? I might have been consumed by that tornado if I hadn't taken off the cape. She trembled and said, Ugh. Ito Shizuru thought, where did she suddenly come from? Anyway, this is my chance. I need to get rid of her and take Yoon Se-ah. Ariel silently watched Ito Shizuru, then suddenly smiled. He's here, Ariel said calmly. Ito Shizuru frowned, confused. What? Ariel smirked. Your Grim Reaper is here. At that moment, Song Jihan appeared behind her with a fist crackling with lightning. With a powerful blow, he struck Ito Shizuru hard, electrifying her body. Ito Shizuru gasped in pain. Kyuk, Huech. Song Jihan looked at Yoon Se-ah and asked, Se-ah, are you all right? Yoon Se-ah nodded. Ah, yeah. Song Jihan walked toward Ito Shizuru and said, Ha, I guess last time wasn't enough for you. You came back for your death. Ariel interrupted. Song Jihan, this isn't the same woman. That's Ito Shizuru. She's possessed the woman's body. Ito Shizuru wiped the sweat from her brow and smirked. Whew, this mission's a failure. I need to at least make sure I save Akari's body. It's pretty valuable after all. Smoke rose from Gato Akari's body. Hoo-hoo, it really is hard to defeat you. Song Jihan and Ariel both stared at Ito Shizuru. Sweating, Ito Shizuru said, It's a shame to leave like this, but I'll see you next time. As she was about to say farewell, Seong Jihan suddenly grabbed her neck. With his fist raised, he growled, What? Did you think I would just respond, okay, and let you go? He then punched her multiple times. Ito Shizuru thought in pain, How did he get me? When the spiritification was already in progress. I can't run. I need to abandon this body. Darn it. I put so much effort into this vessel. As Song Jihan continued to punch her, a golden light suddenly shone from her chest. She whispered, Song Jihan, it'll be much more difficult next time. Golden aura poured out from Gato Akari's body. Seong Jihan smirked and stepped closer. I can say the same to you, because next time I'm going to kill your real self. He then threw Gato Akari's body aside as she slowly vanished. Song Jihan turned and said, Let's go, Se-ah. Yoon Se-ah looked at Gato Akari's body nervously, sweating. Song Jihan glanced back, confused. A few moments later, in Japan, Ito Shizuru sat on a sofa, exhaling. Phew. Suddenly, Yoon Sejin appeared. You don't look too well, Shizuru. Ito Shizuru replied softly, Seijin. Yoon Seijin sat beside her and asked, are you worried about something? Ito Shizuru shook her head. It's not that. Yoon Seijin smiled gently. Don't be like that, tell me. I'm worried about you. Ito Shizuru rested her head on Yoon Seijin's shoulder and said, my plan was a failure again. If we could bring Song Jihan onto our side, it'd help Japan so much. Your daughter would be happy to have her family all together too. I'm just sad that people don't get that. That's what I want. Yoon Seijin listened patiently, then grasped her shoulder. Don't worry about it, Shizuru. You're a warm-hearted person, so I'm sure it's hard to let go, but... Ito Shizuru smirked darkly. Suddenly, a notification popped up on her screen. She frowned and read aloud, your subscribed channel, Forecaster of Victory. Ito Shizuru thought to herself, what, he's streaming? Is he going to talk about what happened today on stream? He wouldn't even have evidence. She looked at Yoon Seijin and said, sorry, Seijin. Do you mind? Yoon Seijin replied, no. Ito Shizuru pressed the notification, muttering, let's see what he has to say. Confused, she watched as the video started. Munjato Akari appeared on screen. Hello, viewers all over the world. I'm a player who was once Ito Shizuru's subordinate, and also a survivor of her mind control skill. Ito Shizuru trembled with anger. My name is Gato Akari. I am going to reveal everything Ito Shizuru has done, all that I have witnessed until now. Ito Shizuru bit her nails nervously, whispering, Akari, why isn't she dead? How is she alive? A few hours earlier, Song Jihan looked at Gato Akari confused. She groaned in pain. Ack! A system notification appeared. Ito Shizuru's soul has left the body. Beginning destruction. Another notification followed. Player Gato Akari's strong will resists the destruction. Gato Akari continued to cry out in pain. Wah! System, the destruction has been cancelled. Gato Akari gasped. Kuhuk. Song Jihan and Yoon Se-ah were shocked. Yoon Se-ah asked, Ariel, what's wrong with this person? Ariel sweated and remained silent. She bit her nail nervously, and she said, her energy is completely different. I do not know how, but I think this is the real Akari. But she's in terrible condition. If she stays like this, she won't last long. Song Jihan wiped the sweat from his forehead. He grabbed Gato Akari and said, I'll need her alive in order to get an explanation out of her. A system notification appeared, casting great heal on Gato Akari. A few moments later, Gato Akari opened her eyes and moaned softly. Song Jihan said, are you awake? She looked up and saw Song Jihan. Song Jihan said, tell me everything you know about Ito Shizuru. You were one of her close personnel. Why did you become a puppet for her? Were you abandoned, or were you following some other order? Gato Akari responded faintly, As she tried to remember, a system message replayed. System, using player Gato Akari's body as an ingredient for creating a puppet. Ito Shizuru's voice echoed, alright, looks nice. System, player Ito Shizuru's puppet has been completed. Hiyori screamed, Akari. What did you just do to my sister? Ito Shizuru turned to look at her. Gato Akari trembled silently. Ito Shizuru said, I've never used a diamond-ranked player's body as a puppet before. Impressive. Her will is still intact.
That's not good for me, though.
I need to test her to be sure. Suddenly, Hiyori screamed, Ah! Gato Akari grabbed her. Kyuk! Hiyori groaned in pain as the grip tightened. Kiku hiik! She gasped again. Ito Shizuru grinned. Akari! Hiyori muttered, tears forming. Gato Akari cried silently, unable to stop herself from smiling uncontrollably. And then, Hiyori slept forever. Gato Akari trembled and said, with my own hands, in my body. Song Jihan muttered to himself, Shizuru. She's an even worse person than I imagined. Gato Akari stood up. She said through clenched teeth, I'm going to end her. Shizuru, that jerk. I'm going to rip her to shreds. She turned to leave. Song Jihan called out, Hey, who said you could just leave? Gato Akari stopped. Song Jihan continued, You're going to go off on your own and kill her? If that were possible, you wouldn't be here right now. You'll probably just end up dead. Again. Honestly, it would be a relief if she does not steal your body again. You'd be doing her a big favor. Gato Akari trembled with rage, gritting her teeth. She cried out then, What am I supposed to do? Shizuru took everything from me, my body, my family. I have nothing left now. She collapsed to the ground, sobbing. Sniff, sniff. Hiyori, sniff. Song Jihan looked at her quietly. Then he said, Well, there is something you can do. He extended his hand toward her. If you have nothing left, then cooperate with me. I need revenge too. Gato Akari looked up at Song Jihan, who glowed with a faint golden light. A few moments later on the rooftop, Song Jihan said, "First, what you just told me, tell it again to the entire world." Present live stream. Gato Akari faced the camera. What Ito Shizuru has done after taking over my body. Comments started flooding in. Beetle, holy poop, Shinju Sasagio. This is a much bigger problem than just stealing players. Jihan solo leveling. Battle.net needs to reinforce their international rules. Gato Akari continued. She brainwashed people, stole their bodies, and even committed murder. But those aren't the only crimes I witnessed. She seduced countless political figures in Japan to control them and cover her tracks. I too was one of the people who did those dirty jobs for her. She trembled. Song Jihan stepped in and said, "I'll continue from here. It is unfortunate that I have to reveal this right before the Northeast Asian League, but Ito Shizuru is someone the entire world should be wary of." The audience watching the stream was stunned. Song Jihan continued, "Especially the players participating in the upcoming league. I hope you will prevent her from getting close. I'm telling you this, so that you do not end up betraying your own mother country, just like the Sword King did." Meanwhile, elsewhere, Ito Shizuru threw her teacup to the floor in fury. Yoon Se-jin and Ito Shizuru stood in silence. In a rage, she said, "Kari, I left her body. So why is she still alive? Do diamond rank players have that much resistance?" Yoon Se-jin said softly. "Shizuru, calm down." Ito Shizuru shouted, "Do you think I can calm down right now? Akari has painted me as a criminal. I'm doing all of this for my nation. Everyone I've worked with is about to abandon me." She looked at her phone notification panel. "Shizuru, is that stream true?" "Answer my call, Shizuru. Miss Shizuru, I'm texting you because of the stream. Explain yourself." "Missed call, Yoon." Seijin suddenly hugged her tightly. He whispered, "Do not be shaken by such dirty little tricks, Shizuru. I'll be by your side, even if everyone else leaves you. I swear it." Ito Shizuru paused silently, then hugged him back. "Seijin, I have a favor to ask. When you meet Song Jihan in the league, please crush him in a different scene." An elf delicately held her cup of tea and said, "Song Jihan." She twirled the cup in her hand and whispered, "I'll be waiting for you, my precious little test subject." Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.